Hello everybody, so today we're doing a comparison of the new NARS Light Reflecting Foundation versus the classic NARS Sheer Glow. When I saw the release of the new Light Reflecting Foundation, I thought it sounded very comparable to Sheer Glow, and Sheer Glow is one of my favourite foundations. I thought it would be a good idea just to show them side by side, and it can actually help me decide which one I like the most, because so far I love the both of them and I don't actually know the differences between them. Put them on my face, hopefully I can help guide your decision if you're stuck between whether to buy one or the other, and it's also beneficial for me. So let's just jump straight into it. Just to give some background, the Light Reflecting is said to have a medium coverage with a natural finish, and it's powered by skincare ingredients, so it's meant to be like good for your skin as well as a foundation. And Sheer Glow is a sheer buildable coverage, natural finish. So see what I mean about the finishes? That's what can throw me off, and I've always thought Sheer Glow was more than a sheer finish, so I think that's why they seem very similar to me. But anyway, let's just put them on my face. I think I'm going to put Light Reflecting this side and Sheer Glow this side. I have quite an equal level of scarring at the moment on each side, and I just have one sort of blemish here, so take that into consideration. One big difference between the two is Light Reflecting has a pump, Sheer Glow doesn't. That makes it a lot easier to sort of control the amount of product you're getting out. I've poured them on a palette so then I can just apply straight to my face. Upon first play, they're both very liquidy and very runny, but I think the Light Reflecting foundation is just that bit thinner and that bit more liquidy. So let me just put these each side. I think you can sort of see actually in the opacity, I think Sheer Glow here is more opaque than the Light Reflecting foundation. Just got a little bit more the thickness to it. And I'm gonna go in and apply it with my Rare Beauty foundation brush. And for both these foundations, I have them in the shade Gobi. See, this is very thin, and I think you do need to build it to get to sort of a medium coverage, because it's very thin, but it does pack a slight punch. So as you can see, I think it's already covering that spot quite well. But because it's so thin, I think it does make it difficult to apply with a brush. I will always go in with a sponge, but you definitely have to because you have brush marks. But because it is so thin, it then blends out really easily, and it kind of smooths over your face really easily. You don't have to put lots of work in to spread it out. Okay, I'm gonna take my sponge, just pat over the top. Okay, so this is how the Light Reflecting side is looking. I think very much punched a bit of coverage in there. You've covered some scarring, but you can definitely still see it. It is there. And the finish is very skin-like. I feel like I have the exact same glowiness as my normal skin does, but we just have a little bit more coverage and evenness. It is very skin-like. I think the texture of it looks like my skin, which is good. So I'm just gonna go in now, Sheer Glow. Sheer Glow is definitely thicker. I don't think it's so thick to the point of when it's hard to blend out, but I think you just then get a bit more punch of coverage at one hit. And it just looks a little bit heavier and more makeup-y than the Light Reflecting side. It's reminding me of when I did Sheer Glow versus Natural Radiant. The Natural Radiant then looked a lot more makeup-y than Sheer Glow. I'm now thinking Sheer Glow looks more makeup-y than the Light Reflecting side. I'm just gonna take my sponge. And there we go, there's Sheer Glow. So personally, I think Sheer Glow is slightly heavier and more makeup-y, takes away from that skin-like finish a bit more because it's not as transparent as I think the Light Reflecting one is. So it does look a tiny bit more makeup-y, but it's not to the point where I think I look makeup-y, it's just in comparison, it's that bit more. They've both started setting down. I think Sheer Glow is a tiny bit more of a natural finish over Light Reflecting. I think it just looks a little bit more satiny and not as shiny as Light Reflecting. Out of the two, the more natural looking one is Light Reflecting. It's letting more of my skin show through, and Sheer Glow is just a little bit more done up, but I think it is still pretty and wearable for me. I don't like anything too heavy, and it's not heavy at all. And they're both very comfortable to wear. I don't feel like I have anything on my face. So just properly compare these, I'm going to take my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer just around my eyes, and this is in the shade Vanilla. Okay, and let me show you one last time. So this is how Sheer Glow looks, and this is how the light reflecting foundation looks. Overall, they are really similar. I just think the light reflecting is a tiny bit more lighter and is a little bit more serumy, I think is a good word. So let me do the rest of my makeup and I'll come back to show you the finished look. Okay, so I've just chucked on a little bit of makeup just to see what it looks like as a finished look. Products apply beautifully over both the foundations. I had no issues with blending, patchiness, nothing like that. Didn't pick up weirdly. I powdered a little bit in the T-zone around my eyes, but the rest, sort of like this part, has nothing on it. Both of them are very, very smooth and look really nice. And I think they've actually settled down to a very, very similar finish. The only difference I can see straight away is that the light reflecting, I think, is less heavy, less coverage, a little bit more translucent, so I can see a bit more scarring, and it just looks that a little bit more natural and skin-like over Sheer Glow. But Sheer Glow still looks natural. It doesn't look makeup-y, it's just in comparison, it does. One little close-up, so we have Sheer Glow this side and light reflecting this side. Okay, so I'm gonna go about my day and I will check in a few hours to see how this is worn. It is 11 AM, so we have a lot of the day ahead still. Only time will tell, so keep watching the video for some check-ins and I'll see you in a couple of hours. Hello, so I've had these foundations on for about 6 hours now and I just wanted to get this check-in before it got dark outside so you've got the best light to see how they are wearing. Overall, they're so similar. They are really similar foundations. How they're wearing, very similar. They've both like got the same level of glow to them. It's very slight and it's not really in my cheek area, which I didn't powder. It's just a bit more in these areas. A nice level of glow. I'm always happy with that sort of level. And neither of them have broken up on my chin like some foundations do. So that's a win for me. I don't know what it is in some foundations. They do just kind of separate in these areas. For me, I don't know what it is, but they're both holding up very well for that. The biggest discrepancy for me is the coverage. I think I disagree with what the NARS website says on coverage because it suggests that the light reflecting is the higher coverage option. I disagree with that. I think it is a thinner formula that is more lightweight and then has a little less coverage than the Sheer Glow. Sheer Glow I think actually does quite a lovely base, very smooth looking and does pack a lot of coverage that still looks quite skin-like. Because we are sacrificing that tiny bit of coverage for the light reflecting side, it makes it look more skin-like. Higher coverage you go, the more mask-like a foundation can look, and to me the Sheer Glow looks a little bit more mask-like and less skin-like than light reflecting, but that is just relative to these two foundations. If I was to compare Sheer Glow to a high coverage foundation, I would then say Sheer Glow looks the most skin-like. It's just between these two. They are both wearing really well. And I think it kind of depends on your skin type, how much you do want to cover. I can see myself reaching for the light reflecting foundation when I want just a slightly more even skin tone. Not perfect, I'm not trying to hide everything. Whereas Sheer Glow is a little bit more coverage, but it doesn't look heavy, which I like. And I like to sort of still see my face. Like I can still see some scarring, but I can see it more scarring this side. But they both look really smooth. They both haven't clung to any dry patches, which is really good because especially testing it on this spot, it was a bit scabby, but to be honest, I don't know if it's the skincare ingredients in the light reflecting, but it looks really smooth. And the foundation hasn't clinged to it at all, so I'm very happy with that. If my skin is feeling a bit more problematic, I might then reach for that light reflecting foundation because of its skincare claims. So I hope this review has been helpful, and if it has, don't forget to give it a like. If you've tried one of these foundations before, let me know your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Also, check me out on Instagram at Times With My Face On if you like product photography, reviews and swatches. I'll see you guys again in the next one. Bye!